Did you guys see that last week we had a bot go into our chat?
Oh
Go
yeah,
into our
I did see
video?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, a bot went into our video and tried to sell us on getting more subscribers to our channel.
Fucking bots.
Not
Fucking
cool.
bots, dude.
Like,
I was like,
are you
wow,
a
man,
robot?
these bots are out here like doing work. They're on our channel, like they're
They'll
coming to us.
infiltrate your D&D game?
I'm saying they're
Oh
doing work
man,
out there,
is
dude.
is nothing sacred in this world?
Is nothing sacred? All right, let's see if I got this light set up the right way. Keep Adam on the green level right now.
Like what was that made for? Because I see a lot of people using it for like what you're doing. I think. Like
Are you talking about that?
yeah,
That it's just a lamp. It's just
alright.
an LED lamp. It doesn't
If it
do
was like a
anything.
light lamp, or if it was like made for
It
like.
like doesn't even do anything. It's just 3D printed. It just sits on top of this little
Yeah, but
thing.
the point of it is for what you're doing, right?
I
For
mean,
me,
I don't
it-
know that. I think a lot of people use it decoratively. And yeah, I just did it to like joke around with Adam. But
Always have that same remote that you held up. These LED lights always have that same
it's the
remote.
exact same remote. I know you're
it's
so
not for
right.
anything.
And it only works when you point it at the device. Like I point it over here, it doesn't do shit. What I'm gonna do over here, it works no problem.
China.
I think I've seen other like games or something. Somebody rocking that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean,
Like I think it was like a DM that was like using
oh
it to
nice.
let you know something.
Like something's coming.
Rebel
Something's coming.
time. All right, let's
Rebel
go.
time.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say some like better DMs than I have fucking like they've got at home lights and sound effects and they got music
yeah.
and
I was
shit.
telling Mandy, I was like, Adam's got like legit boards.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that table that you made, oh my god,
with
that's
that-
fucking
with
dope.
that Iowa, we're gonna be using
I
that shit.
know. I gotta come up to Iowa just to play on that.
I know, we'll do that. I'll do it.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so last session, you guys had completed the kind of secondary mission for the council. You infiltrated the Sea Ghost, the ship. You took it over, killed everybody. Discovered some sort of plot that they were either smuggling equipment to lizard folk for some reason. Which was concerning to the council, and they took all your information and they were going to look into it, but they seemed very concerned about it, and they told you that it would probably be a little while, like maybe a week or however long it takes them to figure out what's going on to figure out what their next step is. But they definitely were interested in having you continue to assist them. So you guys kind of hung around town for a little bit, then quickly took a mission from
Yeah, we took some like bitch work.
yeah, who was that? It's from
It was
Lankus?
It was from Lankus, yeah. Our
from
boy.
Lankus. He wanted you to deliver some supplies up to Burl.
oh, I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah. And so you
And
guys,
then we heard
yep.
Like
we
a
heard
female officer or something they gave us.
What's that?
Wasn't it like when we got somewhere and a female officer or somebody was like
Yeah.
giving us
So
a quest?
you successfully did that. You got
Okay.
hounded by a group of bandits on the way to Burl, but you fought them off, successfully made it to Burl.
That's right, we were traveling. Don't even tell me.
Yep, you're traveling, and so you made it to Burl, and that's where we're at now. I'll move you to that map.
yeah, we whooped them.
I remember Harold. What was the other's name? Because I remember Harold.
It was like Shadow.
Mitch.
Kiara.
Mitch.
Oh, the humans.
Oh,
were
the
talking
human?
about earlier.
Oh yeah,
Mitchell.
Mitch and yes, Harold.
Harold and
yeah,
Mitch.
Harold
Oh,
and
so
Mitch.
we came back here and
Yeah.
stayed the night.
They did not get
That's
beds.
right. Yeah, that's right. And then they were like, "Well, if you guys are up for work, like, don't leave."
Right, they were giving us more work because we showed it.
I'm like, okay.
So
Sure.
Kiara briefly explained to you that Burl was basically an outpost, and it sits up north of Saltmarsh, and it's kind of at the edge of the Saltmarsh region, and so it's an outpost where people can kind of stop over on their travels. And she also briefly explained to you that she's in charge. She's a half elf.
Ha
She is a very like grim, kind of quiet lady, but you can just by looking at her weapons and armor and the way she carries herself that she knows what she's doing. She's clearly kind of been there and done that and is very experienced. And she very briefly talked to you guys and told you that she's in charge of a group of rangers that kind of hold this outpost and kind of protect the surrounding areas. And you guys seemed very interested in helping out here. And she was a little skeptical at first, but basically was like, "Hey, you know what? If you want a job, if you want to try to prove yourself, then there's rumors of a like a goblin camp that's within like a day's travel from here, and they've been causing issues, and we just don't want them around here anyway." And so she's like, "If you go take care of them, I'll give you 100 gold to do that, and that'll be sort of a little bit of a test to see if you guys are capable of doing more important things." You guys quickly accepted that.
Yep.
She gave you a
Like
little, yeah, she gave you a little room over here to stay in.
Should pay us in advance for that, dude. I got some money on me.
You should
just
have
got
gotten the
paid.
money from the old other job.
Yeah, that's from the Lankus,
Lankus,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, we got paid by out.
Yeah.
So, question:
Mhm.
Tons of potions.
can I take? All right, so I have this that I have to use every day. I know we're about to start the day, right? Or I don't know. Are we about to start the day?
So I'm gonna say where we're starting is you guys came in here and you're all elves, and so you technically can meditate for 4 hours and you get a long rest. So everybody can make sure they get a long rest in.
And everybody can make sure that you
Yep, you have trance.
you have 2 proficiencies and like a weapon or
Mhm.
tool of your choice that you want for the day.
Yep, you can choose.
Just something to keep in mind.
Yep, pick what you want because that's a good point. But I'll
It's
say
tool proficiencies, right?
It's tool and weapon.
weapon.
And weapon.
I think so. We could look it
It
up.
says each one with a weapon or a tool of your choice.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
It's not
Um,
like skills and shit like that, but
Yeah.
weapons. And,
Yeah, I have Smith's
Cool.
tools and herbalism kit,
yeah.
and
Like you could do like proficiency all of a sudden use a two-hander and shit if you never had the ability or whatever.
that's how I just realized that's I think I have trident from that. My Smith's tools is from cleric, and my
Yeah.
trident is
Most
from.
cases for us, we've basically like set them out, like that's default. So we will only
So-
kind of say something if we want to for the day,
I want to use my blessing of the forge,
default, but I could.
right? But I also want to. So I can find it. I have that thing that we talked about where I can like make a weapon out of equivalent metal, right? Remember we
Oh
talked about
yes,
this?
you do have that.
So basically, what
ability.
I want to do is I kind of want to, after we've taken our trance, I want to take one of the gold pieces that I have because I think tridents are less than a gold, right? How much are they?
I think it's artisan's blessings, what you want to think.
Trident is
4 gold pieces.
Let's look.
Yeah, I would guess like 5 or
Yeah,
less.
it can't be that much.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think it's
like
4.
2.
Oh, first edition. It's 5. Yeah, 5.
Yeah, 5
Yeah,
gold,
it's
5
probably
gold.
edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so can I lay out 5 gold pieces and make a golden trident instead of just like a normal trident?
I mean, it's just a look.
Yeah.
It's just for flair,
Just for
yeah.
flavor,
You
yeah,
want-
absolutely.
Yeah, just so you guys like kind of notice. Like I'm gonna this morning up.
Actually, yeah, let's do that.
You just check one thing while you guys are doing that.
Yeah, or it takes an hour, but
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning now. You got your long rest in.
yeah, we get long rest in by like midnight.
I just got kicked off the server. Hold on a second. You guys can go on without me. I'm just doing that, and then yeah, ready to go out with you guys.
Adam, is there would we know if there is a like shop in this place? In this port?
You would not know that at the moment.
Alright.
Damn, I don't know, but my output's only 720p.
Oh
I
no,
don't know why.
doing the thing where I'm grayed out.
You're grayed out.
Yeah, like when the sign in select user thing.
man.
I can't select
Let
Kiss of
any.
me.
death is
I'll
back on
kick you.
kicking.
Yeah, that's the kiss of death. Yeah.
Oh, you got animated tokens? What are you doing, dude?
Wow.
What are you doing? What you let them Rangers moving, dude?
Yeah, I can't figure out why this is 720p. I'll have to check later, but yeah, so it's pretty quiet right now. You see, there's a couple guards that are just kind of standing around. Fireplaces are going. It's dark out.
I like their little orchard they got like in here.
Yeah, you look around. There's like a big tree in the middle that doesn't have very many leaves, and it's kind of surrounded by a couple other trees. And it's kind of odd that it's just growing here in the middle of this chamber. Everybody make a perception check for me.
Make one for me. I can't get in.
I'll make one for you.
I'm still gray.
You're still gray. It says, yeah, it says you're not on.
Oh, kiss of death. Let me go incognito.
Perception. So what do we got? Fiorix 17, Gustaf 21, Kai 14, Kolvar 25.
I'd say that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I'll say everybody as you're kind of walking around looking at these trees, you notice everybody kind of notices out of the corner of their eye that tree in the middle here like kind of moves a little bit, just slightly, and you're like, man, I could have swore I just saw that tree move. And as you look a little bit further with your guys' perception, you notice that it moves even further and actually like opens its eyes, and you immediately realize it's a tree ant. It's a live tree. And you guys have probably all heard of tree ants before. I don't know who has seen one before or not, but based on your background, but this tree opens its eyes and kind of looks around at all of you, and you're all kind of stunned for a minute. You're like, holy shit. And he kind of looks down at all of you, and he kind of chuckles to himself a little bit. And he looks at you and says, don't believe I've seen this kind of elf before. He's just kind of looking at all of you.
Don't
Ask
believe
him,
I've
like,
seen a tree before.
are you the protector of this outpost?
He kind of shuffles around and he says, not necessarily protector, but I assist with this outpost.
Stay back, brothers.
He says,
I gave him kind of like a little nod, like
Mhm.
a respect nod.
And he says, my name is Wanderroot, and I'm obviously a tree ant, but I spend most of my time here assisting with the rangers.
And from the sound of your name, with your roots,
Yeah, I like introduce myself. I'm Kolvar, and I ask, how long have you been here
He says,
in this
oh,
spot specifically?
many years in this spot, but I've been around for many more than that. And he once again kind of looks and says, I can see that you're elves, but not seen your kind before. It's quite interesting.
Tell
Yeah, I
him we're
tell
about
them.
to like assist with the goblins.
we
And
spend our time below sea.
He says, from the sea. He's like,
When he,
I work well with the elves of the wood here in the Silver Stand Forest. But it was very interesting to see a different type of elf in this building.
I'll ask them if these are like noble people, like uh the sea elf. I'll tell him that the sea elves value honor, and I wonder, do the wood elves share the same values?
And he kind of nods and says, absolutely. They do.
It's a refreshing change of pace from the humans we've encountered.
tell him about like our mission with the goblins and how we're trying to assist him in a roundabout way.
And he kind of like scoffs a little bit and he says, "Yeah, goblins are one of many issues facing this region."
Usadov wanders off. He doesn't like the tree, and he goes confronts Kiara about it.
Okay, so we'll we can continue that tree here in a second. But Gustav, you walk over and you see Kiara, and she's sitting at a table. She's by herself. And in front of her, she has laid out all kinds of books and maps and scrolls and like all kinds of stuff. And she's just kind of like reading and jotting some notes down. And it's pretty quiet. And she sees you walk up and she says, she says, "Friend, remind me your name again. I'm sorry."
Usadov, and I see there's a talking tree. Is there anything else you're not telling us about this place?
She's like, "Well," she's like, "I apologize for our short conversation earlier, but you can see that I'm a busy person. But yeah, the tree is an ancient tree ant, and he assists us, and he kind of brokers the agreement that we have with the wood elves." She's like, "You probably don't know what I'm talking about, do you?"
I don't.
And she's like,
We're
"Well,"
only newly from the water up on this land.
she's like, "Well, please have a seat if you'd like. Share a drink with me." And
A drink, eh? I sit down.
okay. Do you guys have any other questions for this tree elf or the tree ant? I'm sorry.
Just tell him we'll take care of the goblins problem for him.
He kind of just nods and doesn't really say much more about goblins, but
Yeah,
you
I
can-
tell him that I would like to speak to him in the future about the. So wait, is everybody in here a half elf, or is
No.
just that one person a half elf? Yeah, yeah.
You
Okay,
could-
so I tell him
yeah.
I want to talk to him in the future. I'd hope to discuss the humans in these parts.
Okay. And he kind of nods and he says, "Well, I haven't left this spot for many years, so you know where to find me."
Nice. Side note, I had to log in as Dan. I'm still, for some reason, I still can't get in.
Okay,
I
there.
see that I'm
Hold on a
logged
second.
in somehow, but
I'll
I
just
gotta
do
get kicked.
this. If I give you permission, let's see.
Oh god, I don't want to play as Dan. That's dangerous.
You're gonna have to. I mean, unless you figure out how to log in.
Damn it.
Configure
It looks like I'm
ownership.
not kicked. Like
Power.
I see me in
Or
players still.
Dan.
Like I'm not kicked.
Probably have it maximized.
Save. Can you control Culver?
Yes.
All right, there you go. you're Dan for the
Fine. Fine. But wait, just for the sake of it, there is a way to kick me, right? Can you kick Scythe?
I've already kicked you. Like you're not in the game.
Yeah, I don't see
side.
you on there.
Really?
Uh-uh.
I see me in the little player thing.
Yeah, I don't see you on that.
I think you just have it maximized, Zach. You gotta click that arrow to minimize it.
What's that?
On the next to players, there's a little arrow.
Yeah. I mean, I see Scythe in both of them. I don't know. Scythe has a color next to him in both of them.
I see Dan in line for you.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll do the Dan thing, and we'll just see.
Well, we can figure it out on break if you want it.
Yeah, it's all good. Let's keep rolling.
So Gustav, you sit down, and everyone else. She beckons everyone else who wanders up, and she's like, "Everyone's welcome to have a seat." And she's like, "Maybe we could have a little bit better of a conversation now that it's quiet." And she's like, "I have such trouble sleeping," and she's like, "So you guys have never been up here, have you?" I
Tell her
imagine
no.
since you're sea elves, you probably don't go inland very much.
No,
Is that
that's
true?
correct.
That would
Okay.
be fair to say, Kiara.
She's like, not to, stereotype, but I figured you were more comfortable in the water. And she says, "Well, so here's the thing about Burl." She says, I've been in charge here for probably the last 25 years, and Burl's an outpost here on the outskirts of Saltmarsh, and a long time ago in the Dreadwood, the forest that you see to the east, it was full of these crazy like fire cult fanatics who were rumored to have come from like a different plane of existence. But the elves, the wood elves in the region here, had a big battle with them and kind of drove them deeper into the forest. And a lot of the humans that were up north here assisted with the elves. And the humans and the elves here in Saltmarsh and in these lands have a kind of a difficult relationship at times. But many years ago, probably maybe 10 years before I came to the region, they made a pact called the Wild Flame Pact, where the Wood Elves of the region and the humans up here would work together to quell any evil and dangerous activity in the Dreadwood. And that's kind of the way it's been for since I've ever known. But basically, everything to the east is the Dreadwood, and I can show you guys. I'll pull you this map real quick. And she even has a map on her table, and she pulls it out and shows you. And you can see Burl on the map, and you see the Silver Stand, and she explains that the Silver Stand is a decent size forest that's inhabited by wood elves. And it's very protected. And she says nobody's allowed in or out of the Silver Stand without their express consent. She's like, if you walk to the Silver Stand, they're gonna know, and they're gonna wonder why you're there. So she's like, keep that in mind. But the Silver Stand is where the wood elves kind of live, and there are some fey creatures that kind of come in and out of the Silver Stand. And she's like, I've never been there, and I don't know a lot about it, but all I know is that the elves of the Silver Stand have long battled creatures from the Dreadwood. And she shows you on the map, and you look at the Dreadwood, and the Dreadwood's huge. And if you look on the map, it's a massive, massive forest that extends all the way up into like the next like region off the map. And she explains that the Dreadwood is an incredibly dangerous place. Like on the outskirts of the Dreadwood, it's generally okay because it's patrolled regularly by her and her ranger patrols, who also work together with the elves from the Silver Stand. And so they both kind of patrol the outskirts of the Dreadwood to keep anything evil from, permeating out of the Dreadwood. And she says they occasionally go a little bit deeper into the Dreadwood, into like the middle regions, and will assault, little communities of evil things. She says there's all kinds of evil things in there. There's goblins, there's vampires, there's oni, there's jackal-wares, there's all kinds of evil creatures. And it all kind of stems from this old night hag. And her name is... sorry. Granny Nightshade. And I'll put all this in a document so you can see. But
Randy Nightshade.
so she explains this all kind of stems from this old ancient night hag that's pretty powerful, named Granny Nightshade, who apparently lives in some kind of castle in the middle of the Dreadwood. And she's very powerful, and so all the evil in the area kind of gravitates to the Dreadwood and ends up usually probably getting wound up under like her curse, and she ends up manipulating their minds to kind of make them do what she wants. But the way she kind of explains the Dreadwood is that the deeper you go into the Dreadwood, the more dangerous it gets. And she says, I've been patrolling the Dreadwood for the last 20 some years. And she's like, the deepest I've gotten is maybe 6 or 7 miles into the Dreadwood. And she says the deeper you get in, the more dangerous it gets, the darker it gets. And there's rumors that when you get very deep into the Dreadwood, it gets so dark that the sunlight doesn't penetrate to the forest floor, and that you start really meddling with areas where the plane of existence you're on and the Shadowfell start to kind of blur. And that's why you end up having all these crazy, dangerous creatures that kind of come from the Dreadwood. But once again, she explains that her goal is to protect the region from anything that comes out of the Dreadwood. And they have constant problems with that, and they have to constantly patrol to keep the evil at bay. I'll move you guys back to this map. And she explains to you that, like, kind of like the tree was explaining too, is they have this kind of loose alliance with the elves in the area where they kind of leave each other alone for the most part, and they work together to kind of keep these forces out, or keep these forces in the Dreadwood and from coming around the area. And so she explains, she's like, that's why, she's like, I apologize for being very short with you guys, but it's like there's a lot going on, and this place could be very dangerous. And I, to be honest, I don't know you, and I don't know your capabilities. And there's lots of low-level things that people ask us to do. And she's like, the goblin thing is one thing that I've been asked for the past few weeks to take care of by several people. That there's apparently some goblin camp over to the west, near the marshes, and she's like, I just don't have the people or the time to deal with that at the moment. And so she's like, maybe this is a great test to see if you guys could take care of that for me.
And it's not far from here.
She said, I really don't know. She's like, all I know is that it's to the southwest, that there's a rumored goblin camp, and I've heard it from several sources, but
we accept.
She's like, I just don't have time to deal with it. And she's like, frankly, I mean, yeah, goblins are a nuisance, but she's like, when I have to send a patrol to the edge of the Dreadwood to take out an Oni or a vampire, that's a much bigger deal.
Oh. Vampire.
So
yeah.
What's the plan for Granny Nightshade? She can't just be left to run amok in this land.
Yeah, she kind of chuckles and she looks at all of you and says,
one day.
I don't know what the plan is for that. She's like I told you, I've never been deeper than 6 or 7 miles into the Dreadwood before it got way too dangerous. So she's like, I've never seen Granny Nightshade. I don't know if the castle that she purportedly lives in exists. She's like, this is all information from the elves, the elves have been deeper, but even for them, it gets real dicey once they get real deep. And
yeah, Gustadolf stands up and he's just like, I've heard all I need to hear. Your intentions are clear. This seems like a noble group of people, unlike those humans in Saltmarsh. I'm excited to get started and go kill some goblins, and then we can move on to the next thing.
And she chuckles when you say that, and she's like, ha, humans in Saltmarsh. She's like, how is Saltmarsh, by the way? She's like, I haven't been down there in probably 8 months. She's like, I don't care for the politics.
Sure.
I'm not looking to go back anytime soon.
Yes, quite the place, especially when you look like us. We don't necessarily run into that much trouble, but we also just kind of get used as tools for other people's plots.
I'll do it for Wonderroot.
This is what he would appreciate it. He's a great old tree ant. He's been here longer than I have, and he kind of brokers that agreement between us and the elves, and he speaks with them, and we speak with him, and it's been a good relationship. It's really helped us keep things at bay, because she's like, honestly, like, my rangers are strong, and I'm strong. Excuse me, but the elves are very strong. The wood elves, and we definitely need their help.
Well, we like to get wet, so
you should see the sea elves.
She's like,
and then I whisper over to Kai, like, I didn't know you like to get wet.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, we leave for the goblins immediately.
Let's go get wet with goblin blood.
She's like, I probably wouldn't go during the night.
Ah, yes.
She's like, I wouldn't
114.
travel at night. She's like, it's probably going to take you most of the day to find them, but she's like,
good man.
I'd caution you to travel.
Is there a shoppy in this place?
She says there's not really a shop, but she's like, I mean, is there something in particular you need? I could maybe get it
buy
for
some
you.
healing pots.
She's like, we don't really have many healing pots. The healing pots we have are usually kept closer to the Dreadwood. We have some smaller camps and outposts that we keep stuff like that there for emergencies, but
We're not afraid of the dark. I say we leave immediately.
she's like, I just giving you fair warning, that's all.
We like the darker the better.
And she shows you on the map. I'll move you back to the map real quick here. She shows you on the map, and she basically says, here, I'll draw freehand. So here's Burrow. She says that the reports are that they're somewhere in this area, which is a huge area.
To the south.
I mean, it's
west.
9 miles wide and 9 miles long, and so it's gonna. She's like, I have no idea where they're at. That's just. She's like, they're probably well hidden. She's like, they're goblins. They don't want people to know where they're at.
Did they light campfires?
Yeah. Yep. They typically light campfires.
Well, it might be easier to find them at night.
Yeah, I was gonna say night might be our best bet.
I like it. I asked Kiara if we need any, do the Wood Elves of Silverstand understand that we'll be bordering their woods and could possibly come across some of them?
Well,
I think it's more sparse where we're going. It's not really the.
Yeah. And she says, just don't go into the Silverstand. You're not allowed to. She's like, you might see some, but they're probably not gonna bother you. They're looking after bigger, badder things than. She's like, plus, you're elves. I mean, she's like, I certainly feel like they respect me more because I'm half elf. But
we stand down.
I turned to Kolvar. Do they know Anders at all? Because I know you have a sending stone with him.
No, lost him.
You lost what?
What happened?
I lost connection for a second, that's all.
Is Anders, he's like part of the council? Is that what he is?
Yeah, he is.
Did he give you this sending stone you have?
He did.
Kolvar?
Sorry. Yes, I have a sending stone from Anders. He has the other one.
Do we have anything going on with him still? Or no?
Nah, he said there a week at least before we hear anything from him.
All right, so I guess if we get into trouble, maybe we can let him know where we are.
True. Yeah. Not that it'll help us. Fucking humans.
Finally, coming around, old friend.
I didn't want to. It's just they've shown it with all their behavior.
I lost my humanity in Saltmarsh, and the humans there lost theirs long ago.
Right as I was starting to really like Lankus, he showed me how cold and callous he is. Right at the last moment, like, oh shit. Okay. Gotcha.
To the dock.
Okay, so you guys are gonna head out into the dark?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think we're gonna need torches, right? You guys don't have dark vision.
I have my brother's, and I have a modified hooded lantern.
There you go. Nice.
Alright, so I'm gonna move you to this map right now.
But I almost just want to stay close to you guys and don't alert anything to our presence rather than light the lantern.
Fairwick's cloak.
Let's move you guys here.
Rely on Fioric and Kolvar's dark vision.
Well, a monk. I'm graceful.
I'm graceful. Okay. So you guys are here in Burrow. Which way you want to go here? There's not really.
Got some sheep.
Like I said, once you get off the main kind of path here, it's pretty wild wilderness. I mean, like there's obviously some trails that lead from Burrow to in kind of several different directions that you can tell that the rangers use or somebody uses.
Can we swim down that little lake that's like southwest until it gets to the edge of that?
Yeah,
absolutely. I propose whether we swim or follow it, we do that and then head due south, so we can always head due north to hit it.
Okay. And that's a decent sized lake. I mean, that's like a mile long. But yeah, easily enough, you guys are able to swim the length of this lake, and I'll say that you kind of end up at the southern end here. And when you get out from the lake, it's definitely wilderness here. It's pretty dense forest. I'll say if somebody wants to give me a perception check, you can do that, just to kind of see what you see.
I'll perceive some shit.
Oof.
Can't see it.
Kolvar doesn't see much. Gustadolf, you roll an 18, but you also don't have dark vision.
That's true.
So you kind of step into the forest out of the lake, and it's pretty thick. I'll say you find like a little path that looks like maybe it's a little like deer trail, but that's all you really see.
I pointed out to Fiorik. Does this mean anything to you, Ranger?
It means that the wildlife is safely traveling this, so we should could safely at least travel a little bit further.
Yeah, I like it. If nothing else, it might be part of a goblin hunting path.
Yeah, I think we should try to hand what direction so we can make sure we can head back and get back to Burl.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and try to follow this path that we found on him?
Okay. So
I am proficient with these, but they're probably not helpful.
Yeah, navigation at sea, that does not help you here. Although it does help you a little bit with getting lost. So knowledge of navigator's tools helps you avoid becoming lost and grants you insight into the most likely location for roads and settlements.
You do.
Yeah, so I'll say easy enough. This will help you not get lost, so that's good. But you guys follow this deer trail. Move forward time a little bit here. And it kind of winds to the west a little ways, and then kind of slowly starts winding south. So it's going about
Share my
southwest.
sentiment.
And then it ends up going kind of back east a little bit and south. It's kind of meandering. And I'll say you guys walk
are we far enough to make another perception check?
Yeah, I'll say you walk it for the good part of an hour. And you can make another perception check. So, tell me what you're looking for.
Oh, my bad.
Well, I'm looking for fire.
Fire?
Yeah.
Kai.
Any kind of light.
Fiorik should do it too, because you got dark vision and you're good at perception. And you're a ranger.
Second.
I guess, at least fire does kind of make sense for no dark vision. Because you would,
True.
see a fire somewhere. That's kind
So,
of cool.
Kolvar, you're kind of lost at the moment. You can't really sense
lost
anything.
In the woods.
Not lost, but you don't see anything besides the trail you're on. Kai, you also don't have dark vision, do you?
No.
Okay. A 23 is pretty good though. I'll say with a 23, you don't have your dark vision anymore, so you've come to start relying more on your other senses. And I'll say that you
heard something.
You catch just the tiniest whiff of like a burning smell. You can't tell what it is. You can't tell what direction it's from. But you're like, I swear for a second there I thought I smelled something burning.
We may not be far, brothers.
Yeah, we should follow that.
You don't know what direction it's coming from.
Yeah, which direction's no problem?
Yeah, I would say,
someone tell which way the wind's blowing.
Or just,
I'll say the wind's it's pretty still.
Yeah, if you just want to lead on, like kind of maybe either south, if you can discern which direction to even go, like maybe we just keep heading south.
You tell me what direction you'd like to go. If there's anything else you'd like to do to try to assist yourselves in what direction to go, it's up to you.
So, tell me again how I can roll perception, because I just did it on a different map, and obviously you couldn't see it.
No, we saw it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I see the 9.
Actually,
Just open your character sheet.
yeah, that's what I did. That just click on perception, your character sheet.
You just hit the
Gotcha.
C on your keyboard to pop your
Gotcha.
character sheet.
Yeah, I always have the same problem in this map. I mean, zoomed out maps.
Yeah, I don't have any other ideas, and I already made a couple checks. And
No, I'm looking at my shit. I don't really. Wait. No.
All right, just gonna keep following the game trail then, or?
yeah, I think that's a good plan for now.
All right, so the game trail kind of slowly kind of heads south. And it gets to the point where it gets real narrow and the forest gets real thick, and it looks like the trail starts to kind of end.
Time for another perception.
Yeah, what would you like to perceive? What are you trying to perceive?
I'm looking for non-animal tracks.
I'm looking
So,
for
like,
fire.
Nothing specifically humanoid or anything, but just anything that's like definitely. I mean, I guess humanoid is the right word. Anything that's not animal, definitely humanoid track.
Okay, go for it.
God, same roll.
A 9.
Get these out of the way.
You look around and I mean, you don't even see animal tracks here. I mean, this trail's ended. You see no evidence that there's been any animals through here recently, for sure.
Kai, can you smell anything?
Dust it off. You look around and it is just pitch black. You see no fire.
Keen senses.
Adam, I want to try to climb a tree and just like see a higher perspective.
Oh, fail.
Keen senses.
Yeah, I just did that for shits and gigs.
You don't smell the smoke anymore. Yeah, you absolutely can climb a tree. How high are you gonna climb?
I'm gonna go to as high as I can, like safely, where the branches will still hold me.
Okay. 15, easy enough. I'll say that you pick a pretty tall tree and you probably get about 50 feet off the ground. You feel pretty safe, and you're like, I don't feel comfortable going really further because the tree's starting to thin out. But you can definitely see over the tops of a lot of trees, not all the trees, but a lot of trees.
I see any fire.
Make a perception check for me.
Gotcha.
We'll settle for smoke.
Smoke plume.
Survey says.
Give me a plume. Give me a plume.
11.
Mm.
You don't see any fire. I'll say that when you look south, the direction you guys were heading, the forest looks a lot more dense. When you look kind of back north and west, you can just make out like little patches of the forest that seem to have little clearings.
Is this a quest in our journal?
Perhaps
it's a better
west.
direction.
This is a quest in your journal.
It's a better direction.
Yeah, I don't think the goblins would be in like the deepest forest possible. So maybe.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Since we've been north.
Southwest. So we need to go west a little bit. Maybe.
Yeah. I smelled the smoke and now I don't smell it anymore. So
correct.
We passed it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Back it up. Beep, beep.
Okay. So you're gonna backtrack a little bit, or what are you gonna do?
Head to the west. I think that's okay. Fjord saw some clearing and
Yeah.
Okay. So you hike for another 45 minutes or so. It's now about 3 o'clock in the morning.
We'll make good time, dude.
Yeah. You guys stop.
Leaving early.
Stop to take a drink, and anybody would like to make any checks?
Yep, I'm searching for humanoid tracks. Oh, I told you I was getting this shit out of the way.
All right, 26. So you look around and you don't see any expressly humanoid tracks, but you do notice that there's a little animal path that kind of curves up to the north of where you're at. And it looks like somebody has like raked the ground in certain spots. And you can't tell if it's like somebody who actually like raked it with like a rake, or if it's like claws, but it looks
God,
it looks
there's so many
muddled.
jokes I'd make if we weren't filming.
What the hell? All right, cool.
Feels like they're
I
trying to
convey all that.
plant shit, dude.
Trying to plant shit.
They're planting weed, dude. Woo, woo.
Maybe cover their tracks, kind of thing. Is what they might be doing.
Maybe they were hanging
The old-
something upside down and the claws were on
The
the
old
ground.
leaf rake. Rake made of leaves.
Well, I think since we know that that took some kind of like intelligent interaction, that's the direction that we should be heading. But maybe we should start kind of like fanning out a little bit and being a little like maybe two by two kind of thing, just so we're not caught unawares like Solo.
Or
Okay.
fire, or all together.
So you're gonna kind of follow that little animal path.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
the moves right now. You guys want to go stealth? I guess you guys want to roll stealth. Guess we're in the forest.
Let's try it.
And it's dark.
Okay.
Money in the back.
You guys are pretty stealthy all together there. It's not bad.
Yeah, 11.
Start following this path to the north. And I'll say, Kai, you guys get about 10 minutes into this walk, and you immediately pick up that smell again. That smell of something burning, and this time it's stronger, and you're like, all right, I smell that. I smell it again, and it's stronger.
All right. Keep your eyes peeled, fellas.
Let me try to climb the tree again and see if I can see a fire now.
Okay, make a strength check. See how high you can climb.
Smoke, John. Mike.
Can I help action him to help him boost him up?
He doesn't even need it. 22. He's able to get even higher this time.
I tried to help him, boy.
you
Little
find
brother wouldn't let me.
A
You
nice,
inspired me.
a nice stout tree, and you get really high up this tree. Make a perception check.
He's like, no, I'm the big brother.
16. Okay, that's a lot better. So with the 16, you kind of look around. You're at the top of this tree, and you're over top most of trees at this time. And you look just slightly to the west, and you kind of sit in this tree for a few minutes and look, but you swear you see, every once in a while, you see just the glint of some kind of light. And it almost looks like it's the glinting of a fire bouncing off of some trees.
I give the guys a signal when that is, so I don't have to yell down. I go like an owl. Woo!
Nice. I like it.
He's found them.
I like it. Okay.
Let's regroup. Move to the, what was it, to the west?
To the west, directly to the west.
Let's regroup and move to the west.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll come down and then I'll try to whisper to them like, yeah, I think I see the like slightest glimmer of a fire. They must be trying to hide their fire, which makes sense.
Yeah, scared.
Let's go extinguish it once and for all.
Yeah. Gus and I have a death wish.
All right. So you continue to the west quietly. Kai, this smell of smoke gets stronger and stronger to you with your kind of advanced, your keen senses. So you get to a certain point where you actually find a little bit bigger of a more well-defined trail. You're like, all right, this looks like it was an animal trail, but it's been traversed a lot more than other trails. The other thing you notice is that there's a little stream also on your right side that's kind of just, it's a small stream. Like it's literally, if you stood in it, you would just be like up to your knees in water. And it's very slow, very calm. And it's running along this trail, kind of maybe, I don't know, 20 feet away from this trail. And they kind of run parallel with each other. You just going to keep following the trail?
Yeah, I think we should try stealth again.
Okay, everybody roll stealth check.
Get him out of the way.
Get them out the way.
Pretty good.
Let's take a look. Oh, yeah. 16, 17, 17, 11. Very good. Okay, you guys are very stealthy. You're kind of creeping along this trail. And you start to get closer, and you start to actually see a little bit of light glimmering through the trees, and you can tell that there's definitely a campfire of some sort. And you're following this trail up. What's the marching order here? This trail's about 4 feet wide, 3 feet wide.
I think I should lead since I can see in the dark.
Okay, so
I'm behind Fioric since I'm bloodthirsty.
Fioric's leading.
Oh no.
I'll stay in the back just because I also have vision.
Who's behind Fioric?
Gus.
Gusto.
and then Kai. Let him pop off as early as possible.
Kai. And Colvar's in the back?
Yep.
Okay. Alright. So you guys creep along this trail, and you get closer and closer, and you're very stealthy, and you kind of come up to this one spot, and you can... The trail kind of sinks down, and so you're kind of looking a little bit down into this little valley of a clearing in the forest here, and you clearly see activity going on. So let me move you to this map.
Onto the gully.
I like activities.
Burn goalie.
Much room for activities.
For activities.
I hate pollution.
It always ends up in the sea.
So true. We came from Trash Island.
We came from diaper barge, dude.
So you guys come across here. Let's switch this to something a little bit more suspenseful.
Now we're talking.
Dean beatboxing.
And so, like I said, you're kind of looking down into this clearing here, but you clearly see, just from where you're standing, several sets of campfires. You see at least 1, 2,
Oh, they're not
3,
hiding.
4, 5 campfires, and most of this area has been cleared of trees. From what you can tell, it's kind of hard to see because you're still a little bit of a ways, but the campfires definitely light up these areas here.
This shit looks built up.
In the middle here, you definitely see it looks a lot busier of a place. You see a hut that's raised right here off the ground, probably 20, 25 feet on like big tree trunks, so it's elevated. And you see, which looks like you can only see part of it based on the light, but it looks like there's some kind of elevated platform that's also 20 feet off the ground. You see a little bit of activity. Just from this distance, you can tell that these are goblins, just by the way they're acting. But you don't really see... Every once in a while, you see one move around through the camp. But you really just see different sets of goblins chilling by different sets of fires. And there's no real like rhyme or reason why, as far as you can gather, but definitely goblins here.
Our mission is to eradicate them.
Time to exterminate, dude. This looks a little more hefty than they fucking act like it was, though.
I don't think he really knew what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was their light work.
It's been going on for weeks.
They're going to learn.
They gonna learn today.
All right, so before we
try to just
before we do anything else, let's take a short break. I'm gonna fill my coffee.
Cool.
I need to figure out. For some reason the stream's not.
This music reminds me of Congo.
Stream's not streaming.
Let's take a
Gahiga.
Let's take a short break.
Amy, friend.
8 minutes or so.
Sega.
Cool.